Okay, here we are with me attempting to make my, I'll call it a swage block, but really it's just a drifting block. It's not a proper swage block. It's what I'm going to be using to be punching holes through things, drifting holes through things. At the moment I've got nothing except my anvil, which has got a 25mm 1-inch hardy hole, a 19mm Pritchell hole. That's it. So I've got nothing to be able to really drift through. This is a piece of grater blade extension which I got off a good friend who, sorry for bumping the camera, who has a excavation business. This is a piece he no longer required, so passed it on to me. It has these 3 holes in here. The square, I shouldn't have turned that over just yet. The square hole itself is 26mm. I'll check them all. Yes, 26mm. So it was probably originally an inch. Yep, 26mm square. But the circles on the other side, I'll use that, are 40mm. So what I want to do is keep the square hole on either side of here. Great for making for making hardy tools with, but I need at least one of these holes, the central hole, to have a larger diameter hole that will accept the width, excuse me for not being organized, accept the full width of my drift, because at its thick end here it's 30mm, not 25mm. So what I'm going to attempt to do, I've only got a reasonably cheap plasma cutter, so it's going to struggle, I think, but as you can see there's a depression in around here, the what did I say, 40mm? Yes, the 39mm circular hole goes roughly halfway through before it gets to the square hole. So my intention is to get my plasma cutter. I'm going to make up a circle here. That can be made out of anything. It'll probably be just made out of a piece of plywood that I can have 20mm bigger than the actual hole that I want to make, because from the outside of the ceramic hood on my plasma cutter to the central burning position is 10mm. So 10mm on either side. I make up a ring that goes around here, and I can run my plasma cutter around that and try and cut out that hole. Now, I have previously used one of these bicycle clamps, and I will use that again. I forgot not even had that. So it makes a quite handy circle that is the right depth to be able to put the plasma cutter head in and run around. Okay, well, as it turns out, the little adjustable bike clamp with the grub screw on it doesn't wind down quite enough to be able to run around the inside of here. I'll be cutting through the very, very thick section. I want it to get down inside, so I'm not going to be able to do that. What I'm going to have to do is try and just get the nozzle around here. It's going to mean the plasma tip is going to be a fair way away from this bit of steel here, so I'm not sure it's going to even cut it. So we'll see. I'll come in like that and try and curl him around like that, ever so slowly, just to try and get it cut through. Not sure how I'm going to go, but if you don't try, you never know. Right, let's See if we can give it a go. Okay, well, it is gouging. Not as good as I'd hope, but yeah, we'll keep going and see if we can get it close. Okay, well, once again, I have to apologise for not getting everything on video. Sometimes I just get into things and forget that I'm supposed to be recording this stuff for you guys to see what's going on. But anyway, I've created the rest of my framework for my swage block. I'm calling it a swage block. It's not really. It's a hardened piece of tool steel with holes in it that I can drift through. So I can knock my hammer eye drift through. I've explained this at the start of the video, so I don't have to go through it again, but I've built the framework, so I'll pretty much just show you what I've done and how it's going to work. Okay, that's my frame here, all the way around. So effectively, if I tip it on its head, you can see it's 90 by 90 treated pine, 2 lengths running that way. Another piece of 90 by 90 ripped down the middle, running the other way, and you can't see it under here, but beneath there are 2 bugle screws which go on skew angle on each end, on each corner, holding that bit of frame together. Then I made another bit of frame exactly the same and rebaited a 25mm by 25mm channel in both sides, which give me 2 identical frames, but one with a recess all the way around. I then took some of this angle iron tubing, steel tubing. It's 100 by 100 steel tubing, the same stuff that my legs are made out of and my air intake, ash dump, so on and so forth. The leftover pieces I had from that, I cut the corners out of them, so I cut up, across, on each corner, and fitted the frame on the bottom. Sorry about the camera work here. Fitted the frame on the bottom in on each corner, fitted the frame on the top in on each corner, and if I set up the camera here, right, so I've got my piece of Greater Bay extension here, which had the square hole in it, and I got my plasma cutter out and chewed my way through, because it's only designed to go through 8 to 10 mil thick, probably mild steel. This is work hardened tool steel, and it is 26 millimeters thick. So you guys in America, it's an inch thick. Now that has been cut out in the middle and can be dropped into there, and that makes an exceptionally good swage block. So now I can easily get my new drift, which previously would not go down through the holes. I can now punch it right down through the holes, drops all the way through, easy to get things from the other side. It may bounce a tad, but I have options. This is recessed here and here, so if I wanted to, I could get a strip of steel, put across the top here and screw it down, and that would overhang here and here and hold it down. But I don't think it's all that necessary, and I like the fact that I've got the hole there. If I want to move it, I can just pick it up with my hammer like that. Really easy, you just stick that in there, pick him up, drop him down again. I'm thinking that it's probably not going to need any adaptation from that.